So I joke all the time that I would have been better off trying to sell dumbbells than resistance band systems, because people actually know dumbbells and they understand them. And these were invented in the 1600s, right? So they've been around, right? And they know them. Whereas this product, people are still, they're not sure if it's real resistance training. They just think, oh, this is for rehab, which it is for, and for warming up and little sissy movements, right? So I'm trying to change the minds of people. And again, I've never said that one is better than the other, because I know people love their free weights, and I do too. I still use free weights, right? So I'm not here to create that argument. I don't want to turn off anybody. What I want you to do is open your mind a little bit to this idea of this being an amazing form of resistance. And yes, it is superior in many ways to the good old dumbbell, right? So let's start with, these are both the same, by the way. So we have a 10-pound dumbbell. This is a 10-pound band. Our bands go from 10 with the yellows to reds are 15, blues are 25, and then blacks are 35. So dumbbells work on gravity, right? So they work fine in certain situations, but that's also why we use a lot of benches. We have to lay down or sit down to get the most out of these, right? Whereas these can be connected and working at all the different body planes, right? Let's take a dumbbell curl, for instance, right? So here I am curling this dumbbell. And yes, you're probably hearing something rattle. This is kind of a generic dumbbell, but it's 10 pounds, right? So this is working on gravity. So there's actually a lot of momentum with this, right? So as this gets moving, it's actually losing some tension to me up here. Now I feel a lot at the bottom, right? More so than this, but we have gravity here, right? So compare that to this 10-pound band. I'm not feeling as much at the bottom, but it's nice and smooth, and all the way at the top, I get the most where I want it the most. Does that make sense? So moving on to more resistance, right? So here's the red. This is 15 pounds. And so, what's so nice about this is I can get more tension in different spots if I want. So, if I'm using a dumbbell to do this move, I can't really get a whole lot of triceps. I can get some if I pull back and I hold it here, but nothing like this where I can combine biceps and then right into some triceps. And I'm really feeling that there, okay? So it jumps from 15 pounds to 25 with the blues. And when you get to the system, you won't believe how heavy this gets, right? So that is a serious curl. 25 pounds, it's not that easy to curl. And I have this load pulling me into the wall. So my legs are engaged, my core's engaged, right? So I have not only this vertical plane going, but I'm also feeling this fall forward, where this is just, it's smooth, it's nice. But again, this is pretty easy up here at the top. And I don't have to engage my legs near as much, right? Moving on to the 35, right? And what's also great about this, so let's say 35 is really pushing it for me. Okay, if I'm right here, that's legit. It's really that heavy. But let's say I want to make it easier on myself. Take two inches in, all of a sudden it gets easier, right? Another inch, right? So, that's what's so great about it. You can play around, and every inch matters, you guys. You should know that. Let's say I want to move on and work my shoulders, right? So if I want to do a rotator cuff move, well, if I'm using the dumbbell, this is not hitting my rotator cuff hardly at all, just a little bit. Because what I need is this load going out wide, right? So now the resistance is coming from the side. Makes a lot more sense, feels a lot better, So moving on to chest. So basically with a dumbbell, you need to lay down to work your chest with a dumbbell, because you have to have that gravity component, right? So as soon as you lay down, your shoulders get somewhat compromised, because they prefer, or they're strongest when you are on your feet, okay? So to work my chest, I can't really feel this at all. I feel it in my shoulder a little bit, right? But not standing, I can't really feel it, right? So whereas if I have the band, I feel that big time. That load is coming right through here. These bands weigh less than a pound, so you can pack them, take them on vacation. In fact, I've sold this product to people who wanted both a home system and they still belong to their gym, which to me, that's the best of all worlds. And so what they would do is they wanted the bands at the gym. If the gym doesn't have a nice band system, which by the way, most gyms have very little band systems. People are just wrapping this exposed tubing around, fragile things. Okay, so don't get me started. So if you want your gym to have this great band system, please tell them about us. Okay, so back on subject, you can take your ankle straps, right from your system. You take them, you wrap them around any piece of gym equipment, that this will fit on and is stable. And then you connect your band right to this ring, and now you have an anchor for your resistance training at the gym, right? So that's the thing, guys. Your body when standing is at its strongest, right? So you get to work on, your balance, your core is always engaged. And then with this system, you can work all the body planes so easily. So And you must remember that these bands, they are tough. Okay, it's hard for me to translate. Hopefully you guys watched that video of the big bodybuilder Justin who came in and he was shaking through these. I can't tell you, this is a really challenging system. And remember, you can double and triple bands. So in theory, you have this 35, right? You could have 3 35s on there. What is that? 105 pounds that you could be trying to pull.